Welcome everybody to Beyond the Shoot. I'm Mike Hiru, and yes, I caved in. I'm wearing red for Monday Night Raw, and I hate it. This is back to school for Raw, like I said, where we grade the matches A's and B's, and like we've been doing lately, C, D's, and even F's for this wonderful Monday night. Like I said, this is Beyond the Shoot. Welcome back. So before Raw even opens up, before anybody even comes out, we start with a video package of Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, Brock Lesnar, and it begins. Monday night begins with the same exact thing before the show even starts. So they do the whole video package and they go to the ring, opening of Raw, and what happens? Kurt Angle comes out once again. He talks about how Paul Heyman isn't fired after all because he did live up to his word. Brock Lesnar did come out before the end of the night. He said how Brock Lesnar didn't deserve to be champion, how Ronda Rousey is a better champion coming from UFC, and just so on and so forth. And Roman Reigns obviously comes out, his music hits, and it's just a big bundle of 30 minutes of nothing but Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle, and the whole Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman saga that's going on. From there, Baron Corbin starts talking trash to Roman Reigns starts talking trash to Baron Corbin, so Kurt Angle, you know what, I'm still a general manager, I'm gonna make a match, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. So we're gonna lead to that. I'm not gonna give it a grade just yet because it's all bundled up into one. So we go to the match. The match was decent. It wasn't that bad. Baron Corbin has been putting on pretty great matches in the past couple of weeks with Balor and now with Roman Reigns. Like I said, the match was decent. It wasn't bad. It was good back and forth. It was cool seeing two big men go at it with each other. Two kind of equal strengths. Baron Corbin is very underrated in my opinion, just the way he's been used. When he was with SmackDown, now he's on Raw. This whole constable thing, it seems to be working for him. He's getting a lot more TV time, a lot more matches, and I think eventually it'll build to something bigger, and I hope it goes to that. But back to the match, the ending kind of screwed it up for me. The spear that happened was so horrible. You know, Baron Corbin before that did try to escape and run away, but Balor's music hits, and you know, him and Balor have been having some beef, and he runs back to the ring, and that's when Roman does a spear. It was the worst spear I've seen in my entire life. It was bad. It was just so bad. Roman does get the victory, which we all knew was going to happen. And Balor comes into the ring and does a coup de grace to Baron Corbin and just ends right there. Overall, from the beginning to the middle to the end of the match, I'm going to give it a B-. I'm giving it a B- because yes, it was a decent match. When you give Roman the capability of doing a promo on his own, he does a fairly decent job. Now, when he has to do it scripted, that's when it just becomes just very theatrical. I don't like it. And, you know, overall, like I said, I am going to give it a B-. So next up, we're going to go backstage with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is talking to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of if I beat Ziggler, McIntyre gets involved. If I beat McIntyre, Ziggler gets involved. It's just, I don't have a win. It's a lose-lose situation for me. What can I do? You know, let me find somebody. Kurt Angle, you know what? Cool. We're going to set up a match later on for a tag team match. You find a partner, and you can do it as you want. Cool, sounds good? They agree to that. Over here, we're thinking, you know, it can be Ambrose, it can be Jason Jordan, it could be Chad Gable. In my opinion, you know, I was predicting Chad Gable, but I guess we gotta wait. So we go back to the ring and we go to a match that was set up last week with Bobby Roode and Mojo Rawley. Unfortunately, Bobby Roode is reduced to fighting Mojo Rawley in a weird mid-card situation. He is in the locker room with all the jobbers. Bobby Roode he needs to turn heel and something needs to happen fast because he will get lost in the world of the jobbers. Ask Keith Slater, he's been there for 10 years. So onto the match, I am gonna give it a C-. It was a very bad match. Bobby Roode just looked slow. Like we've been saying in the past months, Psycho Steve and I, it's just Bobby Roode is not clicking well. He needs to pull, like Psycho Steve said, he needs to pull off a promo how he was the champion in TNA. Him and James Storm were the top dogs on TNA. Even before that in the indies, you know, Bobby Roode has been the top dog anywhere he's gone, except now. Now he's reduced to Rhino, Heath Slater, Mojo Rawley. He's all the way down. Mike Canales has gotten more TV time than Bobby Roode, unfortunately. But the match, like I said, was very slow wrestled. I felt like Mojo Rawley deserved the victory maybe because they're pushing him as a heel. Bobby Roode could probably still take a loss and still rebound from that, but it didn't happen. Bobby Roode with the finisher, 1, 2, 3. They might set up a rubber match next week or maybe even pre-show at SummerSlam to give him some kind of TV time. But overall, like I said, I do give this a C-. Next up, we go backstage with Elias. Elias is red hot. He's probably the hottest superstar in the WWE as far as promos. Not matches, because he hasn't really had any matches, but he's the hottest, as he's the best heel. Tommaso Ciampa is right here, and Elias is right here. He's like in between. And not even wrestled any matches, and he's still a phenomenal heel. I was hoping he would have mentioned The Rock this time. It didn't happen. Instead, he mentioned how WWE failed to do a great documentary on him. He's gonna do his own documentary. He hired his own film crew. Those are his assistant. There was all these people holding the boom mics, the lights. It was pretty cool. It was pretty funny to see. And he takes it to the ring. He sits there, starts playing the guitar. He played this new kind of rhythm. I felt it was awesome. It's the kind of music that I like, so I hope he puts out more music like that. But he goes and he's telling the crew what to do, going 360, and he starts playing with the crowd. He starts saying, you know what, blur their faces. They're unattractive, put attractive people there. Bobby Lashley can't even sing, just going back and forth calling Bobby Lashley out. And what happens? Bobby Lashley does come out. And he starts talking smack to him. Elias just beats him down. Of course, Lashley gets the upper hand. As far as his feud overall, before that, I am going to give this a B+. Not the Lashley part, the Elias part. Elias is just, like I said, gold on the mic. He's very well spoken. He's came from absolutely nothing in NXT to be the top heel on the main roster. So I felt like that's great. It's just the whole feud with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, the second run he's having with WWE, doesn't seem to be clicking. The whole Roman thing, it didn't click. The Elias thing didn't click. The Sami Zayn thing got Fs. That was just horrible. So everything Bobby Lashley has been in has been giving very low grades. And once again, I'm gonna give this, like I said, I'm gonna give it a B- just for the fact it's because of Elias. That's the only reason why. But let's segue backstage. Let's go to Tyler Breeze and Seth Rollins. Everybody wants to be Seth Rollins' partner. Everybody wants to be part of the Shield. Ever since the Shield broke up, everybody starts doing the hand thing. Like, let me be a part of it. Let me be a part of this. So Tyler Breeze trying to convince Seth Rollins, let's be a tag team. I got you. He puts his hand out. Who shows up? Perfect. Roman Reigns. Like Psycho Steve said, a month, 2 months ago, where Roman Reigns was literally a part of every single part of the show, the 3-hour show. He was in the beginning, the middle, the end, backstage, front stage, dark shows, pre-shows. He was in everything. And we're afraid of that today again. So he does tell Seth Rollins, and he looks at Tyler Breeze like, you know what, dude, get out of here. Tell Seth Rollins, I got you. So there it is. It's Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins that are partnering up once again. That's predictable. We all kind of knew that's what we're leading towards. We're hoping for a surprise factor, but it is Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. So we go back to the ring, and it's Razor versus Titus Worldwide, Titus ONeil. Once again, I feel like this is just garbage. I understand they're trying to put over AOP. I understand what they're trying to do. Side note, Razor looks freaking phenomenal. I don't know if he's hanging out with Rusev or what's going on, because he's getting that Rusev tone. He's getting that. He looks great. He looks great. His brother, on the other hand, needs to pick it up because he's looking a little D'Lo Brown there. But, back to the match. I am going to give it a C- because, once again, it was the same thing over again. Titus Worldwide, Titus ONeil just kind of get the upper hand, makes it seem like AOP or Razor's kind of weak, and comes out of nowhere, boom, finisher, 1, 2, 3, done, squashed, that's it, let's move on. Let's AOP just move on to something bigger. Guess who's back? The Kevin Owens show. This is what Kevin Owens needs to do if he wants to be the funny guy. He needs to be the Chris Jericho, the show Chris Jericho. He needs to do Miss TV, even with Christian, the Peep Show. We need to bring back shows like that and make it relevant. Make him relevant, make him, go with the crowd, show his funniness. And they brought it back, so we thought. They set up on the outside of the ring, which we understood later why they set it up on the top where they enter, we understood why. So he brings out Jinder Mahal, his first guest, he starts talking about thank you for the whole chanty, the whole relaxation, thanks to you, we got to beat Braun Strowman, thanks to you, I feel more relaxed, I get to spend time with my kid. Typical Kevin Owens starts going at it. He starts talking smack about Braun Strowman, telling Jinder Mahal, you're better than him, me and you got the victory, we're better men. So he's like, you know what, let's get a rematch. Jinder, I feel like you can beat Braun Strowman. So he starts calling Braun Strowman out, and of course his music's not gonna hit, but all of a sudden the platform they're on starts shaking, and that's when you figure, oh wow, look, Braun Strowman once again can pick up something heavy. We get it, he's strong, he's a monster. He was literally under a platform for literally 15 minutes waiting until he actually has to pick it up. Probably made out of plastic, maybe because it did look a little flimsy, but he did pop it open and the crowd pops. Oh my God, look what he can do. We went from him knocking down barriers to pulling trucks to flipping porta potties and plastic platforms. This is just getting ridiculous. I know I used this word early in the night, but it's very theatrical. It looks very fake now. It feels like they're shoving his strength down our throats. It's not working, especially him losing the way he's losing as far as, disqualifications and Kevin Owens running with the briefcase, which on Kevin Owens' part is brilliant. But to be Braun Strowman in that, it's just bad. So we go to, it leads to the match of Jinder and Braun Strowman. Once again, Kevin Owens steals the Money in the Bank. Braun Strowman gets distracted. Jinder Mahal gets the win. Again, that's 2 weeks in a row that Jinder Mahal gets the win. Jinder Mahal gets the win over Braun Strowman in that type of way, a count out. I'm gonna give this, unfortunately, a D. I don't like it. Even Psycho Steve, he's the biggest Kevin Owens fan, and it's just bad. Like I said earlier, a couple weeks ago, they shoved Roman Reigns down our throat, and they did it again today. We go backstage to interview with Corey Graves, and Roman Reigns starts calling Brock Lesnar up. I already said that word last week, I'm not going to repeat myself, but he called him up again, called him out, saying, you know what, go to UFC, get out of here, we don't even watch you, you don't belong here, just so on and so forth. It just felt repetitive. The entire show, from beginning to end, was video packages of Brock Lesnar, video packages of Roman Reigns. Them doing this, them doing that, the greatest Royal Rumble to this, it's ridiculous. I feel like Raw is just all about that. They're trying so hard to put over Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, the Universal Championship, that they're leaving all their other superstars just flat down on the ground doing nothing. Ends up being a handicap match. It's Ziggler and McIntyre and Rollins. Of course, Rollins, like I said to Psycho Steve, there's only very few wrestlers that can actually handle a handicap match and make it a phenomenal match, and that's Seth Rollins. And that's what he did. He was back and forth. He was taking them both out. They were taking him out. It was a very good match, actually. Seth Rollins is a great wrestler. Ziggler is a phenomenal wrestler. McIntyre is going to be WWE champion by next WrestleMania. Even a little bit after that, mark my words, he will be there. But like I said, this match overall, I am going to start off by giving it a B+. Not an A, because not of the wrestling, but the fact that it ended up being a handicap match. The crowd was chanting for Ambrose. I mean, We Want Ambrose was heard throughout the entire match. Nobody came out. Even at the end, when Ziggler and McIntyre did get the victory, there was a little confusion with the tag, but we rewinded it and we saw it. They actually tagged them. So, Michael Cole, you're wrong once again. Stop talking. We go back to the match. Dolph Ziggler starts dominating. Drew McIntyre starts dominating. They're going back and forth. It gets fast really quick. They get the tag. The tag happened so quick, even the announcers got confused. I got confused. I had to rewind a little bit, check. They actually tagged them in, and McIntyre did tag Ziggler in. They did their finisher, 1, 2, 3. Ziggler gets the pin. I felt like, you know what, they're gonna tag, they're gonna demolish him. Somebody's gonna come out and save him. Nope. They stood over him, walked off, and that was it. So on to the match. It happens to be the B Team versus the Revival. B Team has brand new music. It's a chanting music of Go B Team Go. I love their music back, what they had. I love their music that they had last week, the week before, that they had before. I loved it. It was like pop punk alternative. It fit them. It was great. But I get it. They're trying to be silly. They're trying to be ridiculous. That's their whole gimmick. The B Team, the t-shirts. It's all a ridiculous gimmick, but it works for them. And I see people chanting this eventually, kids especially, but I do see them chanting this. So, all power to you, make it work. So it's the B Team versus Revival. Revival's back. Psycho Steve was excited. He's like, you know what? I see Dash and Wilder. I see them doing great. They're gonna get the victory. There was very little match going on. It was maybe a 2-minute match, so it's hard for me to grade the match overall. But the part that I'm gonna give a B+ is the fact that the lights go off. Of course, Wyatt and Matt Hardy gonna show up. I think they're gonna show up in the ring or on the side or something crazy. It ended up being freaking cool. It was Bo Dallas and Dawson in the ring. They're about to get the tag. That's when the lights go out. Lights come back on. Matt Hardy's on one side. Bray Wyatt's on the other side, putting their hands out, get the tag. Their faces were like, what the hell's going on? They were in shock. They were just like, where's our partners? What's going on? They go in. I saw Matt Hardy do the freaking coolest twist of fate that he's done since he came back on his run for WWE recently. It was bad freaking ass. It was awesome. It looks like he's gonna go all out for this. It looks like he's, you know what? This is my last one. Let me do this. Bray Wyatt hits his sister Abigail to his brother. Kind of ironic. I mean, I felt like they needed this heel turn. They needed this more aggressiveness to make this work. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be long, but maybe they're gonna do a Hardy compound triple threat match, SummerSlam, maybe planning that. But like I said, I am gonna give this, finally, I'm gonna give this a B+. So we go backstage, and this is the only A I've ever probably given Raw besides the Seth Rollins and McIntyre. It was an interview of Paul Heyman. Renee Young interviews Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman looked like trash. They did wonderful makeup. He let his beard kind of grow out a little bit. They put little eye drops to make his eyes look like they were watering and poofy. I mean, the makeup crew, shout out to you, because you made Paul Heyman look miserable. He's sitting there crying, saying how, you know, Legend, my best friend for 16 years. I've been through everything with him. I've done this, I've done that. You know, he hates that I'm doing this. Renee Young, stop, I'm scared. He's gonna hurt me. Renee Young was kind of scared to ask all these questions, and she kind of threw a little Easter eggs in there, a little, you know, foreshadowing of who do you see now that you're gonna wanna, you know, manage next. And Paul Heyman's like, no, you know, Legend's the only person I'll ever manage, which is not true, because he had CM Punk and he had Curtis Axel. Remember, Curtis Axel was a Paul Heyman guy. So, you know, back to that, you know, I'm gonna give this an A+. Paul Heyman was just, I don't know what's beyond gold, platinum, and just all the chemical compounds together. He was phenomenal. We go back to the ring, and it's a Riot Squad versus, what do they call him, the Hug and Boss Connection. The Rock and Mankind. Just go back and sue WWE for using that, because that was just, I'm never gonna say it again. Sasha Banks versus Bayley and the Riot Squad. The match was decent. I'm gonna give the match a C+. But what I loved about the match overall was the ending. You know, Sasha Banks and Bayley are going in a row. Liv Morgan is probably the most improved women's wrestler on the roster, right above Mandy Rose on the Iconics, because they're coming up as well. But Liv Morgan is just looking phenomenal as far as a wrestler. Being Ruby Riott, she looks phenomenal. She looks more in shape. She looks refreshed. Her hair is black and red. She looked great. I mean, we've been kind of judging her looks, but this time she looked great. I'm glad she's back. She's freaking phenomenal. So Sarah Logan does get the pin on Sasha Banks. Might set up a pre-show match at SummerSlam. I hope this ends the whole Bayley and Sasha Banks thing, but overall I am gonna give this a B-. So we have the main event. It's Ronda Rousey's first match on Raw, her first match ever besides a pay-per-view, and I'm excited to see it. And I'm kind of noticing the time a little. I'm kind of noticing, you know what, there's 10 minutes of Raw left. There's 7 minutes of Raw left, and they still even haven't done the introduction. They haven't done the entry music yet. So finally, entry music does hit, and it's Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox. They go to the ring, and they're getting interviewed. Charlie's interviewing them, and it's like 4 minutes left for the show. 3 minutes left for the show. I was like, come on, guys. We get it's going to be a squash match now at this point. So, you know, Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox is crazy. I think she's going to stick with that gimmick until she retires. She's just psycho. Noam Dar moved on, and Alicia Fox still hasn't moved on. Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox will start ganging up on Ronda Rousey a little, kind of confusing her in the ring. There's still no match going on. Still no wrestling has happened. Natalya comes in and tries to distract Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss pushed her against the turnbuckle, and it was just the weirdest, most awkward hit. Like, Natalya straight up just went boom. She walked to the pole and hit herself. It was just bad. It was horrible. I don't even have the words to express how bad it was. So let's forget about that. Let's go back to the ring. Ronda Rousey finally gets a hold of Alicia Fox and just starts chunking her this way, that way, throwing her around. Alexa Bliss is just left there like, holy crap, I have to deal with this at SummerSlam. Ronda Rousey is throwing her around like Alicia Fox was just garbage. Alicia Fox, who's a pretty decent wrestler, was made look like garbage. She's probably the fastest person I've seen on the roster. She can go to 205 and dominate there for how quick she is. Man, she just, I don't even have the words to explain the greatness that Ronda Rousey has brought in. She's left all of us speechless. We're all very doubtful that she'll be able to do what she's capable of doing, and she just exceeded our expectations. She's gonna hold that championship very, very soon. I don't know what's gonna happen at SummerSlam, but she's gonna hold it very soon. She does get the armbar on Alicia Fox, 1, 2, 3. That was it, quick. I get what they were trying to go for. I knew it was gonna be a squash match. Alicia Fox is not compared to Ronda Rousey, and we saw it today. See, it's hard to grade this. It's hard to grade it because Ronda Rousey put an A show. She put an A effort. I'm gonna give Ronda Rousey an A. Let's separate Ronda Rousey. I'm gonna give her an A. But overall, as a segment, overall Alicia Fox being there, Natalya, the botch that happened, I'm gonna give it a C+. Yes, I gave it a C+. Remember, I separated Ronda Rousey to an A, so don't even involve her in this. But Raw, what they did, I'm gonna give it a C+. Overall, I am gonna give Raw. Let's steal that one and let's give it a C+. I'm gonna give it a C+. It was a bad show because of the fact that, like I said, they keep Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. Just mix it up a little bit, add other things going on. The whole Seth Rollins thing, the match was great, but still no partner. I mean, come on guys, get it together. Sasha Banks and Bayley. It's just, Raw needs to do something. They had the higher viewership last week. Last week's show was great. I gave it a B+. That was a great show. Me to give Raw a good grade is very rare, and they got a good grade. But this week, they just reverted back to what they've been doing the past couple of weeks. Maybe Vince McMahon felt like, you know what, we can still get the viewership. Let's go back to our crap. And that's what they did. But those are my grades. Those are my opinions. Click on the above. Give me your grades. Give me your opinions. Once you do that, don't forget, comment, subscribe, like down below. Follow me on Twitter, Mike Hiru BTS, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for our flagship show 205, and the third best show in WWE, SmackDown.